Hey, this next interview is brought to you by PrizePicks. Use our promo code Bootleg when you sign up and you play $5 in lineups. You'll get $50 worth of lineups. Yes. All right. So go do that. PrizePicks.com. What is PrizePicks? First of all, legal in 45 states, also including Texas, California, where we are right here. And man, I'm talking about enjoying sports while winning some cash. Putting it in your pocket. All right. You pick more or less than when it comes to, I don't know, points, rebounds, assists on the NBA side, rushing yards, touchdowns, passing yards. All right, there's so much you can do. I've been riding that boy Wembanyama. All right, Wembanyama's just put him over. That guy's going crazy. But make sure you use that promo code Bootleg when you sign up. PrizePicks is the app. Put that promo code in, play $5 and get $50 in lineups, and you're supporting the podcast while we're at it. All right, don't forget to follow me on PrizePicks too. At Bootleg Kev. Check me out on there. You can see who I play, what players I use the most, and all that. Let's get into an interview right now, though. Come on. All right, man. Bootleg Kev podcast. We got a special guest in here. My bro, Jay Worthy.
What up, Kev? Happy to be back.
Yes, sir. So we got to talk about this. Your debut album. It's a double disc, Once Upon a Time.
Yes, sir.
It's crazy to think that this is your debut solo album because you have such an insane catalog of music.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said it, you're like, yo, every one of my projects has either been fully with a producer or fully like a collab with another artist.
That's true. So I wanted to give people a real studio album. You know what I mean?
What was like for you, because you've been putting this body of work together for a long time.
Long time.
What has the process been like, if you had to say just like the amount of time, like when you first started?
Well, I mean, it's crazy because you got records on there like Reckless that was supposed to be on active when I started with YAMS. So you got records on there that are actually older than 10 years. But
so there's a record.
It's been a 10-year process, man. I feel like when people tell you, you know, it takes like 10 years to get to where you really need to be, 10 years to make it, I feel like that's really real because I could have been in the game, but I feel like now the eyes are on me. I've worked up to this point to where people are wanting to listen to a debut solo album from Jay Worthy. You know what I'm saying? I got the history. I made the moves, the pop out, the collaboration albums. You know what I'm saying? So the time is now. We here. I'm very proud of this body of work, and I felt like because it took such a long time to put it together, it was only right to give y'all a double disc. You know what I'm saying?
You've taken like such a interesting, I guess, like approach to the music game because you've always kind of been like around, and then you kind of turned that into like this catalog of incredible music. Like when did you kind of realize like you were onto something when it came to just like collabing with producers and just like reaching out to artists and being like, yo, let's get in? Like when was the like?
Well, I think when I wanted to do something different, because when I was doing Jay Worthy, the only thing that I had out was a tape with DJ Mustard, and that really wasn't my sound.
What year was that?
Ooh, that was probably 2010, and that's when Nima came knocking on my door because, you know what I'm saying, I knew Nima was like, yo, I run Dub CNN, but I also have this distribution company called Empire, and I'm like, damn, just from dropping this mixtape. So, and you know, at this point, like I'm just 1 foot in this, 1 foot in that. Like I wasn't really taking music too seriously. So, yeah, when was that? That was 2010. What was the question again?
I was just saying, like, when did you kind of like hit your stride where you were like, oh, okay, like,
okay, so after, all right, that was Jay Worthy. I wanted to do something that wasn't really my sound. So when I formed London Drugs with Sean, we actually made a sound. I think that's very important for every artist to have their own sound and own identity. That led Alchemist to hitting me up, Cardo Got Wings to hitting me up. Who else? Harry Fraud, Muggs, all, you know, the list goes on. But yeah, that was the turning point, I think, is when like Alchemist was like, yo, I want to do something with you. And then before you know it, I have all these bodies of work with either rappers like Currency or Larry
G
Perico. Yeah, exactly. So
you think it was the London Drugs thing?
It was the London Drugs thing that kicked it off because people were, you know, listening to that and being like, they ain't heard nothing like it. And then that just led people to wanting to work with me. And then before you know it, I don't even think I knew I was like starting a trend, because back then you didn't see a lot of collaborative projects. There wasn't a lot of like this rapper with this producer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was really like shit.
Ooh.
What I'm thinking, like maybe Alchemist and
Alchemist and
Prodigy.
Damo Genesis and like Prodigy. I think like after the Prodigy one, it was Damo. But
because what year was your first
with
London drug shit?
2015.
So I guess before that was Freddie and Madlib. Pinata.
Okay, that was
Pinata.
2014.
Yeah,
there
was
you
14,
go.
yeah.
So there you go.
But I think that was, I mean, it's obviously all a part of that, like
that era,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that led to the to this, and then it's just like, you know, being able to work with all these legendary producers. It was nice to just be able to like form something where I could collectively put everybody on one project, you know.
What was your initial link up with YAMS like? Explain y'all's relationship.
YAMS was my boy, you know what I'm saying? We met in Texas at South by Southwest.
Oh yeah, the OG South by days.
We got into a squabble, I remember, at the Fader Fort. It's like a legendary story. And then
you got into a squabble not with him.
No, like
together.
Like, yeah, it was like something broke out over there, and they were like, "Oh, the homie down," and you know, he just took a liking to me, and then I'd you know, went back to LA, and then I did this record, and he put it like, this is back in like the Tumblr days.
Yeah.
So Lamborghini had the Lamborghini Tumblr, and he put my record on there, and then that started getting motion, and then blogs started picking me up, and then he was like, man, like, you know, I think you should really like do this. You know, this is fire. But back then, the goal was to get Earl Swavey through the door. You know what I'm saying? That was my little bro. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
And I was like, you know, focused on getting him through the door. When he went to prison and came back, my career kind of blossomed. So it was like tables, like it kind of, you know, reversed.
Do you feel like, because back then I feel like we don't get it like Yams doesn't get enough, I guess. He had such a great ear. Like he was such a great curator of like taste. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like a lot of the stuff he touched, a lot of the people he co-signed, like went on to do such big things.
Man, yeah, I know he happy looking down, because me and him, like that's really how we connected, is just like our love for music. He was like, you know what I mean? And same with Cardo. Like Cardo hit me because he's like, you know, Yams was my boy. Yams used to pull up and play me your stuff. And then when me and Cardo linked, and we realized, like, I'm like, Cardo talking about Brother Lynch and Hollow Tip and X-Rated and Keek the Sneak. Like Northern Cali, like from the Bay all the way to Sac, was like a huge influence for me when I was
oh yeah, all that Black Market Records shit.
Black Market Records was the shit.
Season of the Sickness is fucking classic.
All of that, you know.
My goodness.
And shout outs to X-Rated. That's my boy, man.
Such a dope dude, man. I just had him on the pod not too long ago. He's
great
legend.
Human being. Yeah. And that to me, you know, like, you know, when we were younger, we'd pride ourselves on like kind of finding the like underground shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, the X-Rated shit, you'd be like, yo, this motherfucker's really got cutting records in prison?
In prison. And it was hard. So
yeah.
You know, when I found out that Cardo was into that, and then he just really wanted to work, and we were gonna do the tape, that's when I brought G Perico in. You know what I'm saying? I met G Perico at my boy Dub, Quincy White.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, this one he's going by.
He's
Dub,
a fucking alien.
Alien, you know, and we walked. I walked from, you know, my hood to Athens Park is real close. So I walked over there, and that's when I met BG Perico for the first time.
That's when y'all did G Worthy.
Well, that's when we first met, and then he ended up going to jail, and I got a call from one of my homies that was locked up in there with him, and was like, you know, so-and-so. And when he was locked up, I would start playing Yams' music. He had this song called Bussin'. So when he came home, and then I was with Earl, that's when we formed Use a Trick. And then that song came out, and then that's when me and Freeway Rick really started, getting together and forming our business together. And
hey, we got to stop the interview to tell you about our good folks, Odd Socks, man. Now, these are the Odd Socks basics, ladies and gentlemen. Now, when I tell you This is a product that every single day I'm alive for the last 5-6 years I have used are these Odd Socks basics. Now, what Odd Socks is doing is they're kind of reinventing the sock game, if we're being honest, and the underwear game. You know, a lot of times you'll hit Walmart, you'll hit Target, you'll get some socks, you'll get some draws. They're affordable. They end up with holes in them. They don't really feel great. Not Odd Socks, ladies and gentlemen. These Odd Socks basics are the most comfortable socks I've ever had on my feet. Not only that, but they're super affordable. $14.99 for a 6-pack. That's it. Oddsocks.com. And if you don't believe me,
Sock check, fool.
sock check, fool. Wait, the X is on the other side. There we go. Ah! You see that? Sorry, you had to see those white legs. But it's so dope that, you know, I get to push a product that I use and that I love. So Odd Socks, they got the 6-pack of socks for $14.99 at oddsocks.com. The basics. This is the future of socks, the future of underwear, comfort and affordability. I'm talking about affordability without jeopardizing the quality, because they are the most comfortable socks you'll ever put on your feet, ladies and gents. And the et ceteras. Got to show love to the et ceteras. We like all the stripes on the flag. They're oddsocks.com, man. Much love to my brothers over there. Make sure you get some right now. Oddsocks.com. Let's get back to the interview.
Yeah, the rest is history, man. So when you go listen to Once Upon a Time, man, there's a lot of history on there. You know, Freeway Rick narrated it. He know me. You know, he's seen my whole come up. And I'm a big movie guy. You know, I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Once Upon a Time in America, but
Of course.
you know what I'm saying? That's where the aesthetic comes from. Yeah.
Having him narrate, obviously, you say you guys had business together. For people who don't know, give me the history of you and Freeway Rick's relationship.
It's real crazy, man. At the time, you know, I was living at Big Face House.
Games brother.
Yeah. On Brazil and Wilmington, you know, the old Black Wall Street. And, you know, I was trying to transition from street life into just being more legit. And I had got the idea after watching the movie Good Hair by Chris Rock to start selling hair, to start like importing weaves and selling Indian hair, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm Indian.
Yeah.
And Rick also was doing the same thing. And he had heard about my name, and I was doing it like on some baby boy shit.
Right.
Pulling up to the beauty supply spots and being like, popping the trunk like, hey, no, don't go in there. Come shop with me. So anyways, me and Rick.
Oh, y'all was doing that?
Yeah.
You'd be like, you guys could go in there, or I got it for the low in the trunk.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So me and Rick, we met up on, I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm in Compton. And he like, oh, well, I'm in Carson. I said, well, let's meet up right there where on the 91 freeway down Central, right where like the borderline of Carson and Compton are at. And I'm thinking at the time, Rick gonna pull up, like, you know, it's Freeway Rick. It's the kingpin. I'm thinking he gonna pull up in a Bentley or you know, Rolls Royce or whatever. I had no idea. And he just pulls up in this bucket, you know what I'm saying? A little Hyundai. And at the time, this is another crazy story. I had Tory Lanez with me, and I brought Tory Lanez for his first time to Compton, and he just rolling around with me. And he want to get back home. He living at Sean Kingston house at the time. I remember this
Checks
when
out.
he was when he was songwriting or whatever.
Yeah.
But I had him tipping with me through the hood. So I'm like, we're gonna go meet Freeway Rick. Freeway Rick is like, yeah, man. So we chopping it up, and he's like, man, I got to do a podcast. This is like early on too. Like, I don't even think like many podcasts were really even out. And he's like, let's go. He's like, man, let me put some gas in your car, and let's go to Moreno Valley, and let's go do this podcast. I'm like, all right, for sure. You know, Tory from Toronto, he don't know where we going or whatever.
Right.
This is a mission.
Moreno Valley is a real mission.
Yeah, hour and a half, 2 hour drive. He mad as a motherfucker, man.
Because now he's just stuck.
He just stuck, and then we got to go do a podcast. I'll never forget that, though, man. Me and Tori still joke about that. But that's when that relationship formed, and then, you know, Rick seen where I was living and, you know, knew that I was hungry and trying to get about from from my situation and just, elevate. And me and him would link up every day with our hair, or we would go to Fairfax and we would get a bunch of free clothes, and then we would come back to the hood and sell them. So, me and Rick, we started together, man, like for real.
And it all started with hair.
It all started with hair.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's something about the hair industry that most people don't know?
I don't know. I haven't been in it for so long. So
like, let's say, what would you flip a weave for? Like, what would it cost, and what would you be able to sell it for?
A bundle was like going for like $150 or something like
That's
that.
what it would go for on the street.
Like it was. It was.
But
like
what would you
4
pay for
ounces
it?
of hair or something like that, and you would have to have like the Remy or like the real like Remy Virgin, I think it was called, or like,
damn.
They would come in bundles though, and you could buy them in like keys. So it's funny that I was like dealing with Rick, and we buying like
kilos of hair.
Kilos of hair. Yeah.
So what's a kilo of hair cost back then?
I can't even remember. Like I remember the bundles were like $150 or something like that. But the money was good. I made good money in it, and then it just got oversaturated. And then music took over, and my passion wasn't obviously selling hair, so. And then with Rick too, Rick's a hustler. He just like Rick was selling T-shirts, hair, doing appearances, books. We was just moving all the time together, and then it got so busy for him and so busy for me. When you listen to the intro, you know what I mean? He says something that touched me. He was like, he said, so often me and Jay had kind of parted ways, but not on bad terms. But when we run into each other, we would see each other in different cities, and we embrace each other like lost brothers, because it was like, damn, like here you are. He might have an artist, or he might be dealing with a boxer, and here I am in a different city, and I'm doing a show or whatever. And yeah, but that's my brother, man. We still talk every day, and shout outs to Freeway Rick. You know what I'm saying?
You have so much music with so many producers. Who would you say you got the best chemistry with?
I'll probably say Sean House, because London Drugs. Yeah, man, we started together. We kind of made a sound together, and then that's why he's on 9. He's on 9 of the joints on Once Upon a Time. So that speaks for itself.
When did you decide there's too much music, I got to do a double disc?
Well, I just wanted to be able to there was just too many different songs that I liked, and I was like, I was just going to put it all on one disc, but I'm like, who am I? I'm not, a lot of big artists put out a double disc, you know what I mean? So I was just, the way people consume music these days is be a lot to give them 31 records at a time. So I did disc 1, and then 2 weeks apart, I did disc 2. But when you listen to it, like I said, if you ever seen the movie Once Upon a Time in America, it's like a 4.5 hour long movie. There's an intermission on disc 2. That's when the intermission starts. But I sequenced the album from act 1 to act 2. It's how you're supposed to listen to it. So if you fuck with Jay Worthy and you like the album, go make a playlist and let that shit run through. You know what I mean?
Was it on purpose that most of the features were on the second disc?
Nah,
did it just work out that way?
Is there more features on the second disc? Because I feel like the first disc has quite a. I think it's equally. I mean, the first disc I have what?
I see you got Quick. Well, I'm just looking because I was looking at the playlist on Spotify, and the only featured artists on the first disc are Quick and Ty Dolla $ign.
Oh, but those are the features, but because everyone else is primary. I got West Side Gun.
Okay,
Dave
that's where I
East,
fucked up. Yeah.
Absol, Boldy James, Larry June.
Jesus Christ. Just the list of artists is
Wiz
insane.
Khalifa, E40, Jim Jones. Yeah.
Fucking Thundercat,
George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic, Ice-T.
Jeezy.
Mac 10.
Spitta. Rock Marciano.
And shout outs to Wacko. I'm me, I'm an A&R myself. So I A&R my whole album, but Wacko stepped in and he introduced me to Mac 10, which me and Mac became friends, and that's my brother now. So that's who connected that dot. He also connected the dot with Wiz for me, and he connected my favorite record on disc 2, Ice-T. You know what I'm saying? And that record right there, it sounds like 6 o'clock, 6 in the morning to me. So I called it Bix in the morning and put T on that, and I love that verse. You know, I don't think a lot of. When do you see Ice-T name pop up on a feature list?
I mean, fuck.
Even Mac 10. I mean, come
I don't.
on.
That's the one because Ice-T will step out every once in a while. I feel like Mac 10 is very like
Mac don't get
Yeah.
He don't come out for anybody. So you know, Wacko put me with Mac, and then Mac took a liking to me, and you know, we formed our own relationship, and we've been locked in ever since. But those are the things that like make me happy. Having Spice One is like in my top 5. So to have
I was gonna ask you about that because Spice One is somebody who is so underappreciated when we think of like hip hop in general. Some of the like hardest West Coast albums ever, and some of the hardest album covers of all time.
ever. You know what I'm saying?
You already know, man. Want to give a shout out to Slap Woods for presenting the podcast. Only papers I smoke, man. Only leafs that we let fly around here on the Bootleg Kept podcast. We just did a crazy pool party with them too. That was insane out here in LA. So shout out to Slap Woods. When I tell you, man, quality, they smoke so good, and they're called Slap Woods because they slap. I know that's like their tagline, but it's also the truth. All right. So look, go follow them at Slap Woods. Make sure you hit their website, and if you're at your local smoke shop, if you're your local store and you need some papers, get you some Slapwoods. I think pretty soon we are going to do this pretty soon. I want to do a giveaway with some Slapwood stuff. So be on the lookout for that. We'll be announcing it on the podcast. We're going to be sending out, obviously you got to be of age, sending out a good box of these goodies. Ooh, the sweet banana cigar wraps are fire. Slapwoods, man. Make sure you go show them some love. Slapwoods.com. Follow them on Instagram. At Slapwoods. Let's get back to the podcast. But you like Spice One somehow, like I feel like we forget about him. Like he's not talked about enough. Where's the Spice One feature come from?
Well, this is kind of crazy, man. This dude, his name, he produced it. His name's Never Heard Of. He paid me for a feature to get on that beat, and then he was like, yo, my pops is homies with Spice One. Because when I heard the beat, I'm like, remind me of some old Spice One shit. And then he was like, yeah, I can get Spice on it. And I'm like, man, I be chopping it up with Spice here and there online.
Like on
we
DM
never
or
met.
some shit, yeah.
And he linked us together, man. And then I put Spice on it.
He's in the video?
Yeah, it's a video. And then I went and got Bun B on it because, that's my brother right there. And I just thought, I called the song Jive 95 because it reminded me in the era when like all these rappers were on Jive.
Mm-hmm.
Remember? Like
yeah,
UGK,
Jive was crazy.
They had all the Bay
Spice
artists.
One was Jive. Too Short,
E40.
E40. Jive was lit.
And UGK,
Damn,
what I'm saying?
UGK.
And they had all the good soundtracks.
I think they had an office in the Bay.
They had to have.
Back in the day, they had one in San Francisco. Yeah,
They had to have because everybody came out on Jive. So I just said Jive 95. You know what I'm saying? And
so what did you end up giving the dude his money back? Who paid you for the feature?
You know what? We ain't even worked that part out yet. But
You're like, I'm gonna take the song and your money.
Crazy cold game, man. Yeah, he all right though, man. He getting great exposure and he's happy for it. You know what I mean? So,
you got to give him another record now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I owe him another record, definitely.
He's like, I like this so much.
Yeah.
We're gonna put this on the album.
But he knew, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So it was it was cool.
In an era where so many like of the behind the scenes guys want to be in front of the camera and want to do podcasts and just, go and sit down on Vlad. You got a guy like Wacko who is a name we always hear about in LA. And I don't think it's like really talked about enough, like the moves he's able to kind of help with in the background.
Yeah.
Like he's
sitting right over there. I don't know if you want to. He over there.
But I just kind of speak to like his importance in the city and just like some of the stuff he's able to kind of just.
Well, see, Wacko. Like people always ask, they go like, "This is Wacko. Your manager is Wacko." I said, "Wacko is one of my best friends. He's my business partner." But it's funny. I said we wear different hats. Now Wacko is involved. Wacko is a filmmaker. Wacko is an artist. Wacko is an entrepreneur. Wacko put out Cali Swag District and broke the record Teach Me How to Dougie, along with many other things, with helping form Meet the Whoops with me. So, Wacko is just one of those dudes that what I respect about Wacko is like this, man. He don't want the fame. You know what I'm saying? He out here to just push the culture, and be involved in dope things and make good artwork and a real dot connector like myself. But it's funny though because sometimes we'll go out to events, right? And like say I'll be with Wacko and we're going to a movie premiere or whatever, and he represents himself. And sometimes I'll be like, "Yeah, I manage Wacko." Yeah, and then sometimes we'll be somewhere and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, you need to talk to my manager, Wacko." So you know what I'm saying? So we trade hats, man. But great person, great individual, and he deserves his flowers. He's a part of so many great things that have happened in the city of Compton and LA period. You know what I mean? Real dot connector, man, kind of like myself,
You said like obviously you're an A&R, and I feel like so many people tap in with you because of your taste and your ear.
Uh-huh.
Is because you helped A&R the Chupacabra album, which I thought was one of the most slept on projects from. Was it last year?
Yeah, it was last year, man. Last year was
Quick
a
Problem
crazy
album was fucking fire.
Man, a great album.
But
man.
I'm just curious, like for you, is like when it comes to like putting that hat on, like when did you kind of understand, like, damn, like I kind of got the juice low key.
Well, I look at it like this, right? If you look at my career, all the projects that I put together, I said, man, I need to do one with Currency. I A&R'd that. Me and Larry June, I A&R'd all the features on that. Me grabbing Perico for G Worthy, et cetera, right? So I feel like, me introducing Alchemist and Larry together. Now they got a whole franchise. So
Great
I was
album.
like, damn, I'm always kind of been at A&R, and Jason Martin and Quick gave me my first time to like wear that hat officially, and then that opened doors for me later to start working with Terrace Martin on A&R and YG, and the list goes on. So, it's just something I got a good ear, and I love music, and I just want to see people that should make music together rock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Who's been like, because I feel like you've also worked with so many underrated artists out of the city that still maybe not necessarily have gotten their flowers as much as they, like a guy like TF, like you and TF's album is dope.
TF's one of the best to me.
TF's
you know
hard,
what I'm saying?
bro. Yeah,
like
he's
TF's
tough.
one of the best.
Another one of those guys who I feel like, he quietly got a crazy catalog, man.
For sure, and and then now him and Harry Fraud dropping a project, which is gonna be crazy. So it's just things like that. Like I've always just wanted to see different people work with different people.
Is there anybody though from LA you feel like that you just kind of have your eye on? Either it could be someone you worked with, someone who you haven't worked with that's young, that's on the come up, that you're like, yo, that dude's got it.
Let me think here. I love Nano.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I love I mean, who else that's just really dope out here, just pushing and doing their shit. I love all my group, Meet the Whoops. I think those dudes right there are incredible. But I'm trying to think outside the box, just like of somebody that's not so known that I would want to work with. Damn. Oh, you know what? I got to give it up for my boy Vicasso, man. Vicasso 150, man. Out of Compton, a conscious rapper, really dope, like really like a real hip hop MC, but from our section. And I think I featured him on my album. He's on a song with me on West Side Boogie. Yeah.
For you, if you were to go back through your catalog, what do you think is your take away this Once Upon a Time? What do you think is your best album?
Active
2018.
Well, we put it out 2018 on digital, but it came out on Fool's Gold in 2015 in the original.
That was on Fool's Gold.
That was on
shit.
Fool's Gold, yeah.
Shout out to A-Track.
Yep. Shout outs to A-Track, you know what I'm saying?
Fucking A-Track's a G, dog.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Really crazy. And y'all see, I got an article coming out, and we talk about that whole shit and how that unfolded. But yeah, man, A-Track. Yep. So that's 2015. That's my baby. Active, I took like 3 years to make that. So that, yeah, I would say that.
It's kind of like your Illmatic.
Yeah, that's my Illmatic to me. But this is like if that's Illmatic, then this is All Eyes on Me. You
I
know what I'm
respect
saying?
that.
Yeah.
Kind of jumped rappers in the references. I thought you were going to go like, this is my, it was written.
Right. But it's like, I'm paying homage to the double disc era, man. You know, like you from my era. We don't see that a lot.
Nah, yeah. I'm thinking like, obviously All Eyes on Me, Life After Death, but then like 8 Ball had Lost.
And that came
MP
out with
The
a
Last
triple
Dawn.
tape.
Triple tape. That was a triple CD, yeah.
And then MP The Last Dawn, and we had the Bone Thugs one, but people forget
Art of
about
War.
this one.
Art of War.
Element of Surprise. E40.
40. Yeah. Yeah, there's some great double. I'm trying to think what we're forgetting.
What about Jay-Z? Didn't he do a no?
No.
Was a Blueprint? And
No,
it was 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I forget. Well, I don't know why I thought that, but
who else had the crazy double disc? Oh, obviously Diplomatic Immunity was double disc.
Great. That's a great one too.
Diplomats,
You
baby.
know what I
I was
mean?
just bumping that shit yesterday. So I'm like,
I love that album.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's my shit. I still slap that faithfully.
Dipset was
Phenomenal.
It's crazy.
Changed my whole shit in high school. That was like it. I came to school the next day in a pink t-shirt for sure.
How do you end up linking with, because you also have a full album or body of work that you completed with George Clinton?
Yeah.
Now he's on the album?
He's on the album.
No one's able to just like connect with George Clinton. That's a diabolical flex, you know?
Yeah. He reached out to me and he was just like 2 peas in a pod different. So
he was just listening to you and Larry's shit.
But he tapped in with me before that. He started following me on Twitter like back when I probably put out Active. So he's probably like, you know, seeing, okay, this is a new dude that's coming with the funk and pushing the genre. And he might have been paying attention to what I did with Dame Funk. I'm not sure, but he hit me up and was like 2 peas in a pod different. And then the next thing you know, he invited me to his show, and that's when we got to hang out. That's the day we went to the movie premiere, I think, and I went with Wacko. That's when Wacko connected the dot with Wiz Khalifa for me. And then as far as George and me, we hung out. It was cool. And then he invited me to the next show, and that's when I met Quick. And then, you know, George was like, you got to listen to this kid's shit. And that's what put Quick on my radar. And, you know, the rest is history.
When you're in the studio with George Clinton,
Yeah.
does he wear shoes?
He do.
I always wonder because I always hear the old funk dudes like
Like,
record with no shoes on because they like
Feel grounded.
they feel like the funk comes from the ground or the earth or some shit. So I got just a
heard
random
that.
question.
I heard that
I heard
too.
Rick James recorded with no shoes.
Really? I mean, if you go look at like George Clinton's interview with David Letterman, he like comes out there barefoot, just like sitting cross-legged and shit like that.
I would want to do mushrooms or just something like, yo, George, what were you doing in the 70s? Let's do it together right now.
The amount
Some
of
peyote.
the amount of game and knowledge you'll get from George is crazy, and the stories. It was great. I mean, we spent a week together.
How many songs did y'all do?
We did a whole album,
Like
and well,
10 piece, 8 piece, 12 piece?
like 10 to 12.
Ooh.
And just to give y'all some game, because his grandson is like a fan of like what I doing with London Drugs. He was like, yo, I took a chance on this too. So I came to George with me and Sean had already did all the parts, and he was like, yo, these are the songs that George owns outright. So we just did what we do with London Drugs. We looped them, and then I came to George, and he couldn't believe it. And then I got him to like re-go over the classics.
Oh shit! So you guys were able to kind of like, so his grandson tapped in and was
Yes.
like, "Hey guys, these are the songs you don't have to worry about clearing."
Yes.
So
Use
have
the original.
fun.
So
Flip them, sample them.
It sounds like the original Parliament Funkadelic George Clinton. Your favorite ones. I'm not going to tell you.
So
which
Sean
ones.
was able to kind of like just do what he does.
Sean did what he did, and I did all my verses, and then I came in there with George, and I had George go over his classics and add lyrics, or you know what I'm saying. And then
Was he tripping when you guys brought it
he-
to him on a platter? Like,
Bro,
yo,
he was tripping, and I was like, damn. I'm like, you never know how that's gonna work.
Yeah, because he might be
mean?
like, yo, what the fuck?
I
y'all
already did this. Like,
Yeah.
let's make some new shit.
Right.
And he said to me, this is all I've ever wanted somebody to do. And I couldn't believe it. And I was like, oh, yeah, this really my big bro. Like, he get it. So we did it, and he loved it. And I'm not kidding you, for we did that probably, the album's going to come out 2026, but we did that
last year,
8 months ago or something like that. And he's still talking about it, man. And if you guys think that the features are crazy on Once Upon a Time, wait till you see the features on this.
Yeah, you kind of open yourself up to a whole new world of artists who might, I could get the George Clinton. And they'd be like,
come on, man. That's
that feels like a Snoop Dogg feature, just so we... feels like Snoop's on the album. Yeah, it feels like it. Yeah. So Snoop's on the George Clinton album. That's tight. Fire. Hey, we got to wrap up this interview. Another one presented by Hardin, baby. You already know what it is. Shout out to Hardin for presenting another episode of the Bootleg podcast. Don't forget, when you're in Vegas, you getting that taxi, you getting that Uber, say, take me to Hardin, the #1 cannabis dispensary in the world. Premium selection of the craziest gas you could ever ask for. And then they break down what all the terps mean. It's incredible. Go to Hardin_Las Vegas, shoot them a follow. And when you're in Las Vegas, make sure you shoot them a visit. I want to give a shout out to our family at Roken, man. Roken, listen, I love these vapes. Roken Cannabis, make sure you go shoot them a follow. I was in Austin, Texas, and I was off the Roken in Texas, even though I'm not sure legally I was supposed to be off the Roken in Texas. But look, you got to go follow them right now. Go to RokenCannabis.com. Shoot them a follow on social media. You'll see it down below. They got the solventless rosin, pure. It will melt you in a good way, by the way. All right? So make sure you go shoot them a follow, man. And we only rock with the premium, the best. And when I tell you, Roken is the best, they've been doing this for so long. And, man, the rosin... the solventless rosin, man, it hits. All right. So they got the disposables. They got the carts. Let's just open one of these up just so y'all can see. These carts are beautiful. All right. We got it open. He fast forwarded. All right. So this is the cart. And then obviously you got your disposable right here. Both of these incredible. Follow them and check them out. RokenCannabis.com.
No, Snoop's definitely on the George Clinton album.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, he's on there.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Wacko, another person that connected that dot too, Because, Wacko see me moving and do so many things. It's hard to really be able to, what Wacko was able to do is tap me in with the OGs,
Right.
And that's what I love. You know what I'm saying?
I
got all the young dudes.
Right.
I got all the guys, the Griselda, the Larrys, the this and that. But it's the legends.
Snoop,
You know what I'm
Ice-T,
saying?
fucking
Man,
yeah.
come on, man. But yeah, that record right there, me, Snoop, and George, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. That's all I'm gonna say, man.
For you, you have a kind of a trailer to your album, I guess I would call it, up on your IG.
I have two things. I got one which is Rick and me were in the LA River, and he's doing the intro, narrating and telling my life story for me. But then I also have a documentary trailer which is about to come out probably, if we get these edits right, hopefully by the time this Brick magazine drops on in the newsstands, because they just announced yesterday I got the cover of Brick magazine and we did a documentary with it, and it just
it's got a lot of people talking about you, everybody from Anwar Carrots to Muggs to keep on and on and on.
Yeah. A lot of legends in there. Just I've been outside for a while, and I got a lot of connections and know a lot of people. And the whole premise of the docu was I don't speak. Everybody just tells their story for me, And then there's a lot of archival footage, and
what was it like for you? Because would you say when you had kind of first started to kind of get a itch to do the music, what year was that? Not even recording. Were you just yo, I want to be around this shit.
I'm going to tell you this. I'll say this. I always was in high school, we were making music. You got to think my early beginnings, I was running around and I was making music with my homies, and my homies were tied in with the Project Blowed and the Good Life and just different shit like that, and living legends.
Whole
and
nother side of the underground
shit.
LA shit, yeah.
Whole other shit. But this was like early on, like I'm talking like 13, I was rapping. Like we was putting tapes out in high school. That's how I came to meet like my homies from my hood, like Ram and the Black Tex and Faux Bent and everybody like that. Rest in peace. So I lost my knack for music when I figured out, like, it was kind of like this. Like at the time, when Game came out and like everybody said he brought the West Coast back, it was like my circle of friends were like, this is like, we were trying to piggyback off of that and like be like, all right, some shit finna go. And the dude that I was making, who's my brother, Ram, he had a lot going on, 4 kids, he cutting hair, and it was just slow motion. And now
because like Game comes out, and then there's like the whole like New West movement. There's Glasses, Rockstar. There's like all this shit that starts kind of moving around, and like then like obviously Nipsey's going crazy, and then there was like this weird like I don't know if you remember like when there was like
the New West movement,
the New West resentment towards the old heads because nobody was
no, they weren't. Like all right, G Malone and like all of them were like, they don't fuck with us, right? And they don't support us and all that shit.
Nipsey, I got an interview with Nipsey where Nipsey was like, because Nipsey, I think Nipsey called out Dre at the time.
Really crazy. I remember all that. That was the New West movement, and I was around for all of that.
Black Wall Street had 50 million artists. Jeez.
Man, it was crazy. Yeah, I was around for all that.
They signed my boy from Arizona, Juice.
I think I started looking, and mind you, I'm 17, 18 at the time. I think I just jumped into street life, man, and I didn't.
What was it like being around that era, man? Because that was like an era that, like,
that era was cool, man, because everybody was working together. It was a great time for the West as far as new artists. You know what I'm saying? You had like these are the names that I remember very, very much so: Disco, Problem, Bad Luck, Damani.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Bad Luck was so tough, man.
Man, come on. Bad Luck's one of them ones. What's my brother's name, man? Is he gonna kill me?
Bishop Lamont was dope.
Bishop Lamont was dope. K-Boy, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Eastside K-Boy.
Yeah, like all these cats, you know what I'm saying? Were doing their thing, and it was cool. Now, mind you, Mac 10 went in and fucked with Glasses, so he was one of the older dudes from that era that was supporting them. Now, you got to remember, I'm way younger than Glasses and all these dudes, so I'm like, at this time, I'm still a teenager and stuff. But for me, in my neighborhood and stuff, I just, was more influenced to take a different path. And
J-Rock, too, is in that time frame,
Yeah, so it wasn't for me, like, I fucked off for 10 years and just was in the streets. And then what brought me back to wanting to rap and be creative was coming on Fairfax and meeting Anwar and meeting Casey and meeting Tyler and all them before like Odd Future's just getting formed. And now I'm seeing that. Now I'm meeting Bobby and Ben Hundreds. And
it's like the peak Fairfax days.
Peak Fairfax days. I was there from the beginning of it. So that inspired me to be a creative again. And that's when I was talking about that tape with Mustard. I'd pressed up CDs, and my homie was like, who was up on Fairfax, he was like, instead of putting your CDs in the swap meets in the liquor stores, bring it up on Fairfax. And those kids took a liking to my shit and they fucked with me. So it was my young homies.
And those are all the cool kids, They
were all the cool kids.
Fashion kids, streetwear kids.
And that's how I got immersed in that. And that like reminded me back when I was a kid in Vancouver and like, you know what I'm saying? I came up and like I was telling you, on the underground hip hop, the graffiti, the skateboarding. So it brought me back and realized I am an artist. I am supposed to be here and supposed to do that. So that gave me my second wind. And Casey Veggie, shout out to Casey. He just dropped a single featuring me, and that's full circle moment because
shout out to Casey's, man. Shout out to him.
Casey was in high school, man, and this dude was killing it, man. Odd Future was killing it. And I was running around with Casey and going worldwide. And
it's like, I feel like Casey and in the Bay, I Am Sue don't get talked enough about. What they were able to do, kind of like HBK in the Bay, but like I Am Sue and like Casey Veggies and like what they did for that era.
Yeah, man.
Doesn't get talked about
Casey is
enough.
a legend. He went from being broke, because Casey was there with Earl and Tyler.
Yeah.
And then he went to be with Dom and then he just is his own entity. But it's just a full circle moment, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I got my billboard up on Fairfax right now on Rosewood and Fairfax, right above the old 100 store, because it was like, damn, you know, I'm looking at my young homies make it and
What's there now?
inspire me.
Dave's Hot Chicken's there?
Dave's Hot Chicken is gone now,
Is
though.
it?
Yeah, you know.
What?
Yeah, that Fairfax died, man, as far as like, you know.
They got a good burger spot over there, Trophies.
Oh, that one.
Fire Burger.
I ran in. You know who I ran into over there was Sour Milk. I was riding my bike and I was like, I'm
Checks
just coming to go see my billboard. And he's like,
he's probably running or eating.
nah, yeah, he said he drove there just to eat. And he's
They
like,
got good
come
food.
in there. And I'm like, man, I've been dealing with cholesterol issues. But I said, all right, you know what? Let me try it. It was an incredible burger. And
What is going on with Meet the Whoops, man?
Meet the Whoops, man. We got a deal in place. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, we got a deal
I know
in place.
Wally's going crazy with Cactus Jack. You got your shit.
You
like,
got Chef Boy going crazy.
YS.
Come on, yeah, but we got a deal in place with a major. I don't want to let the cat out the bag, but yeah.
Is that a project that you guys already finished or
100% produced by Hit Boy? Yeah, it's finished, and that's all I could say about that. It's finished. We just been hashing out the last bit of the terms. And
have you been able to chop it up recently with K-Dot at all? Because obviously, you know.
Hell yeah. I talked to Dot just to put him up. You know, he's busy and moving, but you know, he congratulated me on my new album, and he told me he loved the aesthetic and the direction that I'm going in. And you know, like he also see what I'm doing with George Clinton, and he's like, wow, like you like the king of P-Funk, like, you know, so he loved what I'm doing, man.
It'd be crazy if you had Snoop and Kendrick on the George Clinton
Who
album.
knows,
That
man?
would be
Dot,
crazy.
man, I need you to pull through for Uncle George and me, man. But no, that's my brother, man. When you know he busy and he moving, but when the time is right, I'm sure it'll all come together.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about you that people have misunderstood about you?
I mean, you know, I think like, you know, that they love to judge a book by its cover, or they might go look on the internet and see this or see that, or I don't know, but I'm like, don't get me fucked up. But the thing is, I don't really have to speak. Like the street's gonna let you know. Everybody will let you know. And it's like, you know, we in this internet age where like people just get on there and say everything or say anything. And it's like, you know, I'm a little bit older too, so I've been around. So I don't know. For the most part, all I know and all I receive is love, you know, but you know,
And you're everywhere. I feel like anytime I go anywhere, you're there.
Yeah, I'm there.
I'm like, damn, fool. Like, you don't have kids?
Nah.
That's why.
Nah, I don't got kids, but I also
because I don't go out that much. But when I go out, you're there.
You name somebody though, like I've been there from the beginning of like, bro. I was put in Griselda in 2016. We met at Alchemist's house. I was there. I met Yams and them from the start in the ASAP. I was there with Odd Future and them when they was just bubbling. Like I just been around and know anybody. I was running around with Dot when TDE formed, and he had me and the homies everywhere to Pimp a Butterfly and, you know, Good Kid, Mad City. So it's just like, yeah, I've been around for a minute. And before that, it was with Suge and Brick Squad and, you know what I'm saying, and Big Face and Chuck. And it's like, so, you know, you got all this under your belt, and then it's like, now that's what I'm saying. It's like once upon a time, you got the docu, you got people gonna do their history and learn and figure it out for themselves, you know. But I don't really got too much to say, man. I come with peace and love, and I think, you know, if they don't know what's up, they finna know now.
Do you feel like now that you got this initial album out into the world, is you got this certain pocket of fans that are just like Griselda heads?
Yeah,
who've been waiting on you to drop your
yeah.
Griselda album.
And it's funny about that because Gunn was like, yo, like, he's like, you are Griselda, so you could drop, like, Gunn allowed me to do whatever I want. Do I want to put the logo on it? Sometimes, like, for the Spice One and Bun B video, I threw the Griselda logo on there. For the Me and Conductor shit, I put it on there. I left it off on my album cover just because I felt like I'm Griselda and that's my team. Like, you know, like forever. And I'm honored to be a part of something that is like, to me, is like that's the new Wu-Tang to me.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And because like think about it, Staten Island was like some other shit, Buffalo kind of some other shit.
Right.
So I love that comparison. But you know,
Is that album done?
Which one?
Because,
No, I look at this as like my Griselda release. Right. You know what I'm saying?
You know where you? I'm just waiting.
Throw that logo on the vinyl and shit, man. I just let the fans figure it out for themselves, man. Gun on the album, Conway on the album, Boldy on the album, Conductor produced on the album. I mean, what more do you want? This is it.
Is there another collab album you got tucked besides the Clinton one?
Oh, yeah. Me and Conductor. And then I got me and DJ Quick where I rapped over all the grooves.
Oh, shit.
And I'm not going to tell you who rapped over it with me also. That's
fire.
Yeah, that one's going to be crazy. And then I got one with an artist named Idris, who's amazing. Yeah. And then you're going to have Active Part 2 by me and Sean. So
what is can you give me like if
and Terrace Martin got one as well.
Fire.
Jazz album.
Jesus.
Yeah, Don't Stop. And I'm out my deal now, so tap in.
Yeah, your catalog's crazy.
Yeah.
If there's an independent artist that's watching this, I feel like you're really good at like the rap hustle, if you will.
Yeah. Because
there's so many ways you can get bags in this rap game as an independent artist. Like, what would be, I guess, your biggest advice? Like, untapped money, or what's like, kind of break down, the secrets of the game in which like you're able to just like.
Well, I think it all starts with the music first. Do something creative and original, and build your brand up. Give them an aesthetic. Like when you come and get a Jay Worthy album, you know what you're getting. You know the artwork gonna be top tier, the production gonna be top tier. Or, for example, look at June, same thing. Look at Griselda, same thing. So it's all about branding and aesthetic. But as far as the hustle goes independently, just try to have ownership. And there's nothing wrong with taking a deal and taking an advancement and getting started like that. It might not be the best deal that you want in the beginning. I didn't sign the best deal that I wanted in the beginning, but it gave me, it gave me a boost, and I was able, after that, I was able to wiggle and do what I want. So a lot of cats will be like, well, nah, man, I'm not taking that, or nah, man, take that, man, use that marketing money and go up with it. I just started using marketing money. This is like the first album once upon a time that I was like, all right, cool, we'll do digital marketing, or, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I mean, look, it's your debut album, right? So it's like you got to kind of pull it out.
Yeah, for sure.
So Empire?
Shout outs to Nima and Ghazi. And you know what? Even though I'm out my deal, I probably never end up leaving Empire because...
Or at least always have some business there.
Always. No, forever. Like my whole catalog over there, and they always done good business with me, and they made me a priority, like on Empire, they pushing my shit like I'm a priority over there. So it's always important to be at a label where they really rock with you, If I go somewhere to a major and it might sound good, oh, I'm on woo-de-woo, but if you're not a priority over there, you don't got somebody in the building that believe in you, then what's that gonna do?
100%. You might as well be on fucking DistroKid at that point.
That part.
100%. All right, brother. Well, look, the album is out. Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
Disc 1 and 2.
Yes, sir.
Vinyl coming?
Vinyl, VHS, DVD, merch. You already know. We did a bunch of collabs. We did one with Awake New York. We did one with Huff. This is the Huff one right here.
Fire.
But yeah, I'm about to be dropping soon.
Go support, and I can't wait to hear this George Clinton album.
Oh man,
2026.
That'll be the next time I come up on here.
Please bring him with you, please.
All right, I'm gonna bring George though. He ready to do press. He told me. He's like, I'm gonna come run around. So.
I won't have no shoes on. Jay Worthy, my brother, I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Boom.
My guy.